What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Foxy Moose Show, episode 13. That's right, 13. One right after another. I'm your host, Tyre Godet, aka Foxy Moose, and I'm here to analyze your favorite characters. For those who are new here, I'm a concept artist, a character concept artist that enjoys helping people learn while inspiring creativity in others. Okay, creativities. For today's show, we're going to be analyzing Neeko, the Curious Chameleon, and I'm going to try. I have a very strong urge to really do the Neeko Neeko knee meme, but we're not going to do that because it is pretty cringeworthy. So we're not going to do that. Hopefully, all right. So we're going to be checking out her design and analyzing to see what works, what doesn't, potential improvements, and discussing several design elements while going about it. All right, so let's go in. Let's go in. Let's go in. All right, so we were able to. I actually recently found out that LOL King went down, but there's a new site called Timo.gg where you can get models up, and they were actually able to get this up relatively fast. So it's only been a day since her release. I'm able to get out some content about her. So let's go. so let's go. So her story, for the sake of understanding the design, I'll go through this relatively briefly. She's a Vastayan tribe. She's from a Vastayan tribe called the Uvicat. I really like that name, Uvicat. It's like fun to say. Uvicats were peaceful beings and had access to the spirit realm. Neeko here loves playing games. She's curious. She's resilient and she's energetic. She's also described as pure and innocent. And what happened to her background story, her tragic background, was that the elders in her tribe sacrificed themselves so Neeko could escape from the destruction of her homeland. It's not really said what destroyed it. It just said cataclysm came upon her city or whatever came upon her island. So I'm really curious to see what actually like destroyed her home, and if he's actually like a League of Legends or if they are a League of Legends character. After she left her home, she got to a city called Harrowport. Got chased out by some guy because he got freaked out because she touched him and transformed into him, and he didn't like it. So he started thinking like bad things, very bad things that scared her. And she met Nidalee in the Hinterlands. And for those who don't know, Hinterlands are just a place that no one has really discovered or gone into. So she met Nidalee in the Hinterlands beyond Harrowport. And from there, she traveled with Nidalee for a while before she wanted to rebuild her tribe, this time even bigger than before, with like-minded people. Boom. That's it. Boom. What did that take? Like 5 minutes, if anything? Cool. So her goals, I like to give characters goals. It makes them a bit more personable. So her goals are, like I said, to build a tribe of like-hearted life forms that share her dreams. Her dreams of really like being able to connect with people and show. She didn't like the fact that humans and people who weren't Vestayans could only display emotion through words. She wanted to show it through feeling, through other means, through transforming, I guess. So she kind of wants that real. She wants to build like an emotion heavy or highly connected tribe of people who are just like really kind and have that family vibe. All right, so that's all out of the way for in terms of story. We're gonna go into a bit more specific details that help us define the character as a whole. I just realized that this is just a bit high. Whoops. Blah, 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 blah. I had to stretch this out a bit. But yeah, we're gonna go into the things that define the character as a whole and help us really get a visual sense. Like if we didn't have the character on the screen, we would work with this information first and then design. All right, so let's go in. So what type of game are they in? Obviously, League of Legends is a MOBA. That's a given. I know other videos I've had where they were 2D fighters, but that right there is extremely important because it lets you know how to design your character. I mentioned in other videos that you don't want to have a bunch of busy stuff on the bottom of the character when the game is a MOBA, because all you're going to see is top down, most likely. You're going to see top down So you're gonna see the head first, and you're gonna see the back and capes and stuff. So all that stuff is important, not the feet. Um, but it doesn't mean you should leave the feet untouched. Anyway, um, what's her archetype? Now, archetype I define as, the role they play in the game. So MOBAs, you have DPS, tank, support, and assassin. That's just how I break it down. And other games have different archetypes. Fighting games have different ones, but we're sticking with DPS, tank, support, and assassin. Now, in my opinion, I'm basing this off of the function of her kit, and I'm definitely gonna say that she's an assassin character, just because assassins usually have like quick movement or like stealthy abilities. But her kit in itself, she has abilities that lead to a stealthy burst damage or CC, and a quick escape. And that's usually what defines an assassin to me. So where is she from? What's her home? What type of culture was found there? We don't really know. All it really said in the story was that it was a remote, unknown island. So we have no idea what type of culture is found there. All we know is that it is an island. So all you can reference is stuff like, you can only reference things that have been seen in the world from other islanders. So you see her clothes. She has a very island kind of style. It must be pretty sunny there. She might not need fur. It's not very cold. There's probably a lot of sun. She has a lot of skin out. Although she probably needs to protect her skin from something if there is a lot of sun. So it might just be like there may be cloudy days, there may be sunny days. It's obviously safe enough for her not to want to wear something to cover up her skin from UV rays, unless your skin doesn't get affected by UV rays. All right. Now, what's her trope? The trope is what grounds the character to something familiar or similar. And in this case, since the race is already established, we're going to ground this character to a Vestayan, or that's what Riot has grounded this character to. They put her in the Vestayan trope. I know they're trying to bring out more Vestayan characters and whatnot. So I'm really liking this kind of like flow coming out. Like you have Rakan and Zaya. But anyway, so yeah, she's Vestayan. That's her trope. That's what we're going to stick with. And now we have the spin and the hook. This is what makes the character interesting and memorable, by introducing abilities, skills, history, a second trope, hobby, etc. And the first thing we're going to kick it off with is she's obviously a chameleon. You can see her tail on this side here. You can see her tail over here. But she's a chameleon. And now I could have put this in the trope, but I felt it was unique enough that it would have already been interesting on its own, because you already have Vestayans. Then you have to determine what type of Vestayan do you want to use. Do you want to use a bird, which we've seen already in game? Do you want to use like a ram, or you want to use like any other animal? So they decided to use a chameleon here. That's one thing that makes her interesting and memorable. Two, she's an islander. As we stated before, she's an islander. That's a very important thing that will make this character interesting. She uses spirit magic. That's also very interesting. You can see that she has some kind of like runes on her body, like especially on like the yellow parts of her skin. She has these like kind of runes. I think this is really, really cool to show that spirit magic affinity. And then lastly, she has an innocent curiosity. She really likes seeing her world and seeing what's going on, because she's never been to this part of Runeterra, and Runeterra is the whole planet. She's never been to this part of Runeterra. She's been on her island for we don't know how long, but she's been only with her tribe, and she's only seen stuff in the spirit world. So she's basically learning about the environment. She's like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? So that's really, that's definitely something that's memorable about her. It also makes her really, really cute, Like, she's like, ooh, what's this? Like, ooh, is that candy? Like, what's candy? It's like, really adorable gestures. So her alignment, this is the nature and the personality of the character. And I usually break this down, but I think I've broken it down so much in other videos. I'm going to skip over it, but we're going to say that she's a chaotic good character. And I say this because she doesn't care, and or she doesn't know enough about the norm of society in Runeterra that she just kind of like she doesn't know, she can't abide by it. Like she tries, I assume, but she hasn't been here long enough to actually abide by rules. So she's just kind of trying to learn everything, and she's just trying to figure out how she can fit in. And as we stated, she just wants to make a tribe of loving friends. So when she actually accomplishes that, she might establish some rules or guidelines. I'm pretty sure she had guidelines on her island. But as she is now, she just came off of the island. I'm gonna say she's a chaotic good character just for now until she gets settled into the game or into the environment, and then she'll probably be a lawful good character, which would mean that she follows rules and she's very she works within a system of order. But even that doesn't sound like her. That's why I said chaotic good. It doesn't seem like she's interested in rules. She likes playing jokes on people. She likes playing games on people. She likes having fun and learning. But we don't know. We don't have that much information to determine that yet. So for now, just going to say chaotic good. All right. Now let's move on to the design communications, and you'll be able to stop staring at a blank screen. I tried to go through that as quickly as possible. Maybe I can put that up on the screen or something so you can see as I'm reading through it. But yeah, let's move on to actually drawing on the screen now. So I have some images pulled up as you've seen, and we're gonna be drawing over them and breaking them down. So we want to talk about the design communication right now, comparing gameplay versus design, and what the character is capable of. Does she look like she can shapeshift? Does she look like she can be sneaky? Does she look agile? Does she look like a threat to the enemy, like as a DPS or an assassin? And those are all the things we really want to look at right now. So let's go in and break it down. So let's start with like some motifs. You can see, for me personally, I really don't like these things up here. I really don't like it. I understand why it was done. It was done for the sake of like silhouette, because in a MOBA, like we said, you're going to be seeing the character from the top down, and silhouette is really important to be able to recognize the character at a glance. You need to be able to tell who is who and what to use on them as soon as possible, because reaction is key in PvP and competitive multiplayer games. All right, so that's why that's there. I personally don't like it. I think I would have personally rather have I don't know, maybe like a bigger flower. Like if there was a bigger flower here instead, as opposed to those things. I have no idea what they're supposed to be. They don't do anything. I looked at all of her moves. They don't do anything to her moves. They're just kind of like there. I know in her emotes they act as what do you call those lizards? They're like frill lizards, where they kind of like fan out and they try to like intimidate you or whatever. But I'm not a fan of it. But I would have made like this flower right here. I would have made it like a bit bigger, where you have it like really showing. Obviously we wouldn't want to have like these. Well, we don't want it to cover our face either. It'd be something like that. Like that would have been a bit more interesting. That way you can kind of see. You can recognize her silhouette at a glance without having like no function, because she already has a very strong flower motif. Even her skill effects have flower motifs in them. So I would have really liked to see them play that up. Now let's see if we can find any other motifs here. And as you can tell, there's way more detail in this region of the character, like the upper body region and like up here. Even on the back, you can see all this detail on the back. Her back is way more detailed than her front, in my opinion, just because of all the runes and tattoos and stuff and whatnot. And you're going to be seeing the character from the back quite a bit. So I think that's actually really something really interesting to note, that like all those details are just, I'd like to think of details as eye candy, for the gamer. So basically, what eye candy is like you have like a large area here, like say this chest piece, for example. This is like a large shape, and then when you decide to actually like go further in and like look at it, it's like, oh, that's pretty nice. Like, you know, she has these like really like leaf kind of vibes going on. That's like really nice. Even down here, she has these like kind of it kind of follows that same kind of flow. Even on the pants here, and it's not. They did a really good. They usually do a really good job at controlling detail and whatnot. Because you can see that we have detail here. Let's see, we have detail here, and then I would consider this like her torso, not her torso, her abdomen. I would consider that like a rest area, which is usually what they do. That's pretty common for them to do that on female characters. They'll make like the abdomen a really big rest area, and then you have the legs that are another rest area. This goes back to talking about how I was mentioning design versus detail, or detail versus rest, and making sure you have that kind of large, medium, small. Make sure you have those areas to show, so you know you can take a pit stop. All right, so let's see what else we have going on here. Let's see what else makes this character design pretty awesome. We have this necklace. I have no idea what this necklace does in terms of story. It does tell a really strong story. Like jewelry is usually really strong at telling a story. Not sure why she has it. Maybe she got it from Italy at some point. Maybe she had it already. But if she got it from Italy, that's a really strong story element. That shows that she was traveling with her for a while. She trusted her enough to give her a piece of jewelry. Let's see what else we have. There's not like she doesn't have many clothes because again she's an islander. But we do have other things that break the silhouette. Like you have this. This is really important for breaking the silhouette. That kind of like the cloth, the end of the cloth, and even here is really strong for breaking the silhouette. But a large majority of this character is just her skin. It's just her skin. And then we also can point out point out. I laugh because I'm about to mention the points. She has a lot of points. Now, what this does is it helps to show that she's an aggressive character, or she's like a very dynamic character. This ties into what we were saying. Does she look like a threat to the enemy? And that's a yes, because she has all these sharp points on her silhouette. Now these aren't these this is another reason I don't like these. These kind of like round out. Like they're still points, but they kind of round out. I guess when you get in game, like when you look at it in game, they're a bit better. Like they're a bit pointier, just because you're looking at them from so far away. But her hair is like a key part here. Her hair really shows off the points and the how scary she actually is. That's amazing. That's great. All right, and she has this bang here, and then these are pointy as well. And that's it. Like her skin is like, you can't really do anything else to the skin besides add tattoos and stuff to it. And even like some of the tattoos, you have these like village tattoos where you have like a lot of village patterns are like something like this, where they have kind of like these like triangle shapes on them, and then they'll have like something like this, and that'll be like a village pattern. There's usually like this is usually some kind of like symbol from her tribe. So that's really well done. What else? Does she look agile and sneaky? Yes, because she's very slim. Like she has a very slim body shape, and not to mention, the more of a person's skin that you show, the faster they tend to appear. So because you literally have this character who doesn't really have any clothes on, you can kind of assume that she's not wearing any clothes, not because of her story, but because clothes would weigh her down. She needs to be able to move freely. So she wears as little clothes as possible to be comfortable when she's like moving and hunting if she has to hunt, etc., etc. All right. And I love her color palette. I love that they did these like earth tones. Um, they usually it's recommended to stay within 2 or 3 colors at most, but they actually went to 4. They have the brown, here, and they have the green here, which is a really nice color combination by itself. It's a very nature color scheme. And then they added the blue and the pink. And I don't know why they went to go with I don't know why they decided to do the blue and pink. But it worked out really well. I'm not sure why they did that. I guess they wanted to really bring contrast to this area. Even her eyes are like a form of like brown or orange, which is they're just yellow. Let's see. I mean, that's pretty much it for the design. You have the points, you have the large, medium, small. We can take a look at her values really quickly, actually. If we go ahead and make a new layer, and we just add a black screen, and we change the hue, we can check out her values and see what I'm talking about. So instantly you can notice that her legs are like darker than her face. Like all of the light is hitting her face. Like you have you have the light here like hitting her. What the hell? Oh. I was like, what? You have the light here hitting her face. You have it hitting here. Just hitting like the areas that really reflect the light, and then down here is getting blocked by light just because of the way that the lighting in the game is. It really helps to bring that contrast to the face. And you can actually break this down into 3 values. You have the dark value, which is the hair. You have the mid-tone, which is the clothing, what they used, like this area. And then this is like also like kind of a mid-tone. Or it's even better. The simpler you get with your values, the easier it is to break it down. I like to use 3, if not 2. 2 usually works really well. But you have basically like so all of the lighter values are going to be her skin. Like her skin is really a light value. Her midtones are going to be like her outfit and the flowers and the things in her head. And then the dark tones are going to be her hair and, this part down here. And as you get further down the character, it just gets darker and darker. And again, that all plays into the point of being a MOBA character. You need to be able to see that character instantly and recognize what's going on. I think that's about it. Her design elements are really clean. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about what was it? Asymmetry. Yeah, asymmetry. So you can see a bunch of different. If you were to split this down the middle, you really want to avoid having like the same design on both sides unless it's intentional. Like uniforms should have like symmetry, just because to show that that's kind of like that symmetry within the there's no flaws in the system that's built or whatever. And even then, it's good to have some kind of like balance, some kind of off balance to show that kind of interest. That's what it does. Asymmetry creates interest. So here you can see that she has one strap actually going around, and then this one is to the side with the knot being tied. I think that's actually a leaf. Yeah, that one to the side. So that's one thing. And then you have this making a slant. Slants are one of the easiest ways to add asymmetry to a design. So you have the slant going on. So one side is higher than the other. And then you have this slit on one side with these, with the ties coming in like that. That's another thing. That you notice it's only on one side. You have this, you have the end of the, you have the knot on this side. You have again, you have these like strings on this side, but this side is just solid, you know. And the belt is obviously okay because you already have enough asymmetry going on that it's okay to start adding in some sameness. That's what it's called. It's called sameness, and that's something you really want to avoid. All right. Oh, like we said, the flower up here, and then there's a flower down here. All right. So that's about it in terms of the. I don't want to make this video like too long. I think I always say that, but they always end up being super long. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. We were able to break this down and see what's actually really good about this design, and pick out the different design elements going on. If we want to actually go in one more time, we can see that we can break this down into like large, medium, small shapes. This is usually really difficult to do on something like this, just because there's not any like shoulder pads or anything like that, which is really easy to tell that on. But let's see if we can go in and figure it out. So if we go in and break the shape of this shirt up really quick, and the shape of the pants really quick. So you have this shape. That's literally like the shape. So now you want to go in and break up the shape with different design elements. So what they did here was they split this up into large, medium, small. So you have this. Now what they did was they made this large area, they made this kind of like small area in the corner, and then they made another small, but I would consider this medium, because what they did was they added a trim. They added a trim to the bottom of the shirt, which is an extremely easy way to add a small shape to something. So now as a result, you have this large shape, you have this medium shape. You can even grab that and add that in there as well. And then you have the small shape being like the trims. So now you really have this large, medium, small thing going on. And if you want to go even further, you can separate this. You have this trim in here. It's like you have a large shape right here, and then you have a medium shape or a small shape right here. You have another medium, small shape right here. And then this whole thing is just a big area. So try to take it one step at a time. Just work big and go small, go small, go small. And just keep thinking about large, medium, and small. Like even here, you have this large shape up here. You have maybe like this one's kind of like a medium, and then you have like the other ones being like small, small, small. Then you have this large flower. Then you have a smaller flower. It's all about. That's why before, I prefer to use the term size variation. That way you're not always thinking about, oh, where's the medium? Oh, but where's the small? If you think in terms of size variation, you can say, okay, I need a rest area, which is this. Boom. I need a detailed area. Okay, that's the knots right here. Boom. And then you can just finish off the design right there. That's how I like to think about it. And it's a lot simpler to me, but if you can determine your own style for that, go ahead. That's just how I personally like to think about it. And even, let's see, how can we break up? So how did they break up the pants down here? So you have a large shape, which is this large triangle, right? And then you have these two kind of like small sections on the side. And then you have an even smaller section over here. This is where like the detail is. All right. And then you have more detail in here, which is the belt. And then you have this large rest area right here, which just has like some details on it that they're not small enough to be considered like details. Okay. At least in my opinion. If you guys think otherwise, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm doing the videos because I want to give my opinion. I want to be able to help people as much as I can, and just share the knowledge that I do have. Okay. Now I haven't talked about the tail very much, because I mean nothing really much to talk about. It's the tail. It has the same texture as her skin. Um, it's the same texture as the skin. It kind of fades out into this kind of purple. It has like the actually yeah, it has these really pointy kind of scales on them, which comes through in the game extremely well. It helps so much to show the fact that she has those like it just adds those little extra points to her silhouette. So like when she's crouching, you can really see like the silhouettes like kind of sticking out. They're like this. This is her body. This is don't mind the sketch. Like if she was like it's just standing up, the spikes would be like here. Anyway, yeah, those are really strong to show that kind of that danger. Those like spikes. Spikes always show danger for the most part, unless they're like softened up or something like that. Okay. Yeah, and actually, another thing that's good to notice is that Vestians usually have some kind of like brown and gold going on, similar to what like kind of how Rakan has. He kind of has like the gold. He kind of has like that Vestian gold on him. I think that's a very strong element in Vestian designs, actually. Okay. And if you guys want to go ahead, you can break this down into large, medium, small, or size variation pieces, where you have the pink part. Let me see. You have the pink part being the large. You have this section to the right being the small, and then you have maybe like a medium. All right. And then overall, you would start by drawing this shape. And then you go in and you break down, you break down, you break down, you break down. All right? Boom. That's it. Boom. I know I said this like 5 times, but that's it. Boom. So my final thoughts, I really love the color scheme. It looks really good. I'm just confused as to why they did 4. The story in this design is amazing. You can really feel that this character is from somewhere else, that they were really in touch with who they were, that they have some kind of magical powers or spirit powers, that they have some kind of like runes on their body. And she has a tail, a chameleon tail that's kind of fading away. All this is telling a really strong story. Again, the only thing that's not really telling the story is the little petals or whatever at the top. These don't have any function at all. They're just there for show. They look like they're a part of her head, but yeah, I don't know why they're there. All right. So that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment, and be sure to hit the bell. It helps so much. I really want to do this full time for you guys and just start analyzing a bunch of video game characters, competitive multiplayer video game characters for you guys. If you guys ever want to donate, feel free to do so at the coffee link down below. Just donate if you can. If you want to, you don't have to. It's definitely okay. It just helps. All right. Follow me on all the social medias down below. If you guys want to see some of my artwork, you'll find it over there. I'm most active on Twitter. I'm opening my Discord, so now I'm going to be posting my Discord link in the link below, or in the description below. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll catch you next time.